I'm Dave, and this is my son Ben.
And this is Lindstrom Farms, and here's a quick tour of our garden.
This bed right here, we had strawberries growing this season. You can see they're pretty much done. These ones are just a few little leftovers. We did have some snow peas in this corner right here. They're pretty much done too, but this was the last harvest for the snow peas. In this half of bed one, we have sweet potatoes. We had an excellent turnout for sweet potatoes last season, so I'm hoping that they come in strong again this year. Over here in bed two, we have a lot of kale growing right now. You can see the bugs are starting to get at it. They're like a small little slug, but all honesty, we don't really eat the kale. It's more for our animals. We feed this to our chickens. We got in the middle here garlic growing, which is probably going to be ready to pick soon. At the end here, giving a little stab at growing peanuts. We got a lot of herbs over here. This is thyme, some rosemary, more rosemary, and these are two different types of oregano. Bed three, we have basil. This should be topped off before it grows a seed. This is catnip. The chickens love catnip. Parsley, cilantro. Some of the cilantro is starting to grow to seed, but we're going to let it go to seed because the seed usually drops. And then it starts new plants for us. These are onions. What kind of onions have these been?
Spring onions.
Spring onions. These first three beds that I just showed you are our original beds. We've had these for 2 years now, and they're producing great. We add a layer of compost every season to them. When we first filled them, we filled them with branches and logs and wood chips. Every year we add another layer of compost because the wood chips below and the logs are breaking down, so by the end of the season, we lose a couple inches. And that's fine with us because we want to put a nice top dressing of compost on every season. We started these ones in the middle of last season. These two beds are not producing great for us. And the reason being, we feel that we put too much wood chips in it and not enough compost. These are just some extra tomato plants that we didn't have room for in our other raised beds. We don't even know the varieties. It's almost like it's going to be a surprise for us what we're going to get with these tomatoes. And same thing over here. More tomatoes. We will probably at the end of the season fertilize this bed heavily, and we might even grow a bunch of snap peas just to help the nitrogen in the soil.
So right here, this is my lettuce bar. My goal is to plant a bunch of varieties of lettuce. The only problem is there's a lot of weeds that grow in between, so I gotta keep pulling them out. I don't know the exact name of this lettuce here, but it's growing really good. I'm also growing some tomatoes since we grew a lot this year, which will be revealed later. I just put some here in the meantime. Last year I put together this raised bed. I like it, but the only problem is that a lot of weeds start to grow up on the side and it's hard to get them out. So we're planning on digging this out at the end of this summer, and we're gonna put black plastic in here so they can stop growing on the sides. In this bed over here, we have a variety of plants. We got cantaloupe growing, watermelon, pumpkins, and squash. Now there's a lot in here, but we're limited on space. So next year we're planning on separating it and moving the pumpkins back there in a patch, which we hope to reveal next year. This bed here is simple, it's just eggplant. We got six plants growing and spaced out. Over here we have wineberries growing. They're extremely invasive. So what I do every year is I cut them down or else they just go out of control. So over here we have bell peppers and a variety of hot peppers. We started them early and indoors before the frost season, and once things started warming up, we brought them out. They start off pretty slow, so we put in some blood meal to speed up the process. Over here we have a variety of tomatoes. We have sage. In Connecticut, it grows every year. It's a perennial. And in between each plant, I planted garlic. Some people claim that garlic actually enhances the flavor of your tomatoes. Now, we don't know if that's 100% true, but we do know that it does repel pests.
Over in this section of the garden, we'll find black cap raspberries. These are black raspberries. They're a little seedy, but they are delicious. A lot of people make jam out of them. I just like to eat them right off the bush. We'll save them, mix them into our protein shakes at times. One thing that's great about them, the birds don't really attack them too much because, well, I believe because the prickers on these bushes, they don't like the thorns. So we tend to get a pretty good harvest of these every season. This is our newest section right here. As you'll see, unlike the other areas where we have wood chips down, this time we're using a weed fabric, mainly because of one weed, mugwort. Mugwort has infested my yard, my gardens, and it's a constant battle. So we're starting to use more of this weed fabric with the hopes of starting to win back our property, our gardens, and not be fighting pulling these weeds constantly. You hear the chickens in the background. Right here we added 4 raised beds, and we have a whole variety of different tomatoes in all 4 of these beds currently. Just like the other raised beds, we started them with wood chips and then put about 10 inches of compost on top. We used some fertilizer and blood meal. As you can see, we have started putting up some of these fence posts with some fencing to help hold up the tomatoes. We still have a lot to do, but we're getting there. Unfortunately, we have such a variety of tomatoes here that we don't even know the names of them all currently. It's probably one of the things that I really want to work on for next season is labeling. These were tomatoes that were homegrown that we bought from a roadside fundraiser, and they were not labeled. All I know is there's probably about 10 different varieties here. So we're kind of excited to see what we're going to get this season. And if you look to the behind me over here, we still have this open space. And I have 2 boxes of raised beds that I have to put together that Ben and I will be working on this weekend. And hopefully we will be planting some zucchini and cucumbers. And then on this device here, we have lemon cucumbers we want to put on it, and maybe some string beans, something that's going to climb, but probably lemon cucumbers will be the majority of it, since we both seem to like that. It's one of our favorites.
So right over here we have pickling cucumbers. We have about 6 to 7 growing right now. You may be wondering why we have a cover on this raised bed. That's because we have an issue with cucumber beetles, which they can actually kill the plant. Once the cucumbers start flowering, we take the cover off, and that will bring in bees, which can help pollinate the cucumbers.
Back here in the garden is an area that we do struggle with, just because of the amount of time, but we're getting there. This is some of our grape plants, and as you can see, there's just too many leaves, and there's not enough sunlight getting to these grapes. So we really should peel back some of these leaves, so it would help with the production of these grapes. And then over here, again, these are our peach tree. Haven't been doing too much maintenance on this. The squirrels have been getting them. We're not too hopeful that we're going to get a crop this season.
Here we have a peach tree, and then we have a nectarine tree growing over here. So right here we have a mulberry tree, same as one back there, but unfortunately it's dead. These 2 trees right here are pear trees. And we also have 2 apple trees growing right here. And I thought there was one right here.
Is that the one you're looking for?
Yeah, there it is. Back here we have red heritage raspberries, as well as blackberries back here. And we're hoping to make a video where we cut it all down and we keep it more tame. It'll allow us to get in there and harvest more berries.
All right, this section over here is where we have more raspberries. Don't know the name of the type of raspberry, but these raspberries have more of a purple color, and they usually get a larger berry on them. They're one of my favorite berries to eat. If you look down here, you can see some of them are actually starting to change. This will get a much darker purple when it's truly ready, but this is definitely edible right now and really good. Over here, we grew these last year for the first time. These are boysenberries, and these are now probably one of my favorite berries. They're a cross between a raspberry, a blackberry, and I think a tayberry. They're actually delicious. Unlike a blackberry, all these little nodules. If one nodule is off on a blackberry, which happens a lot, at least here, it ruins the whole taste of it. These things taste great no matter what, and they're almost always perfect. So these are delicious. These are our blueberry bushes. I don't know how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably about 20 bushes here. It's a constant battle with the birds, But this year, we think we've learned what we need to do. Is it's this tight netting. Some of it is the type of material that's actually used in wedding dresses. I forgot the name of it off the top of my head, but it actually is making a huge difference for us this year. And for the first time in probably 5 years, we're winning the battle against the birds. And we're collecting a good amount of blueberries. So we're super excited about that. Our only wish that we had done is that we space these out more. They're a little too tight together. So possibly this fall, we might move every other plant into a new row and really space them out so we can get all around these bushes. We can just tend to them much easier that way. So we're super excited for next year already. Not the prettiest looking bed, but this bed produces asparagus for us. It's one of our first crops we get each year. We planted these about 6 years ago, and they never disappoint us. And then mixed in, you'll find a couple of varieties of mint, which are smell just wonderful. A lot of times I'll just break off a piece and I'll put it in my car, and it just makes my car smell great. I know we're gonna try making some mint extract soon with it. Something new for us to do. We put them in the chicken coop. The chickens eat it, and it actually helps keep the flies away. It's well known for keeping flies away, and a lot of other critters. So
over here we have a variety of potatoes growing. We have red potatoes, Yukon gold potatoes, and I did a little experiment back here. As you can see, these ones right here I used blood meal, and these I did not. And clearly, this one hasn't grown as much as the one that we used with blood meal. So it's good to use blood meal to help growth. If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you watching. If you could like, comment, or subscribe, that would be awesome. Thanks for watching.